You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for joining me here today on part one of our Cabral House Calls. We're about to dive into your questions, our community's questions, that we answer each and every weekend. Excited to get into another 10 to 20 questions this coming weekend. And as always, if you have your own question, please do feel free to write in at stephencabral.com/askcabral, or same-day answers can be gotten at cabralsupportgroup.com. That is our free private Facebook group, and we are happy to answer your questions on a daily basis right there. A lot of my top health coaches are inside of that group answering your questions as they come in. So excited to be able to help out our community in any way that we can. We did our very first Facebook Live last week inside of cabralsupportgroup.com. I was able to help people and give them direction as to the right lab for them or their family, and that's something that I hope to do as well in the future. So stay tuned. If you're not a part of cabralsupportgroup.com, head on over there. It's a great place where we launch a lot of our new ideas. We ask for your feedback. We provide daily posts, and of course, we're answering your questions. So, without further ado, what I want to do right now is actually get right into the community's questions. These questions are answered in the order that they come in. And so this first question for today, and again, you can find all of these questions at stephencabral.com/1347. Actually, today is 1345. So head on over to stephencabral.com/1345, and you will see all of today's questions. The first question came in on September 2nd, so just about 5 weeks ago. This one was from Cara. Cara wrote in saying, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Yesterday, October 31st, about 45 minutes after a hard workout at 10:30 a.m., deadlift holds, overhead holds, kettlebell swings, assault bike, I got a wavy lights in my peripheral vision. And this had happened to me a couple of months ago, and I remembered a nurse friend said it was likely low blood sugar. I ate some mango, and about 20 minutes later, it went away. I had a daily nutritional support smoothie with blueberries and avocado, and about an hour before my workout, and by the time I was done working out, I had a half a gallon of water. This has happened 3 times in the last 4 years, each time after the workout. I am going to answer your question. You can read the rest of this question if you'd like at stephencabral.com/1345, because I know the answer that you're asking. So there's 2 things that can happen during the workout that could lead to this lightheadedness, this dizziness, or these wavy lights in your peripheral vision. And whoever gave you that, well, it was a nurse that said it was most likely low blood sugar. I agree. It was most likely low blood sugar or low blood pressure, or both. And one of the issues with just drinking a ton of water during a workout, if there's no glucose in it and there's no minerals as well, is that you are diluting your blood. Now, I don't say that it's a bad thing, but when you look at your blood, it's predominantly water. And so when we look at the fluid itself, the plasma being 90% plus water, if you're drinking a ton of water and there's no glucose, but yet you're driving through your glucose, you very likely could get low blood sugar. Because remember, if let's just say we have a solution and it's just the size of, let's say like a little small glass, 2 ounces, that's it, like a little medicine cup or something like that. Okay, so we have that, and it used to be half of that was cranberry juice, we'll say, and half was water. Well, if we dump in a full glass full of water to that, it dilutes that mixture. Now that glucose in that mixture, that small glass, is much, much less. Well, your brain, your vision, your body needs glucose. It's one of the funny and oxymorons why people are really bad mouthing carbohydrates because your body, its preferential fuel is glucose. And you can't say that your body runs on ketones when you're doing the assault bike. It's just, that's not going to happen. That does not work with normal human physiology. You can use ketones overnight. You can use ketones during a long fast where the body's not being pushed to its limit. But if you are in that anaerobic system, your body needs carbohydrates. What I would do is if you're pushing yourself that hard, I would simply drink your smoothie through the workout and you'll be completely fine, without a doubt. Again, I can't give you medical advice over the podcast, but if that's what it is, you'll be good to go. And if it was blood pressure, well, you'll just add a little pinch of sea salt to that as well, especially if you're sweating quite a bit. All right. Looks like a follow-up question for Cara. I received a reply from Dr. Cabral Support Group from an optometrist that said it was a visual aura. It could precede migraines. A good amount of people have never had them. My next question, why would I be getting these aura migraines? I don't agree with that. It happened after you drank a half a gallon of water doing a really hard workout. If you would say that you would get these things sitting at your desk during work, different story. So I don't think that we can go with that. All right. Gabriella is up next. And Cara, feel free to write back in if I'm off base. But this happened during a workout. It happened when you were pushing yourself really hard. Sounds like a CrossFit style workout. Again, nothing necessarily bad with that. But you have to make sure that you, especially if you're in a fasted state, that you are burning through a lot of that glucose, right? All right, Gabriella is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. First, I love your podcast. Very informative. Now for my question. Do you believe women should fast differently than men? Are you familiar with Dr. Beth, who is all about women's health? She believes women should have snacks during a fast because of our hormones. Would really love to hear what you have to say about this. All right. So, well, hopefully, Gabriella, you've heard my podcast where I don't recommend fasting through breakfast for most women. And that's because over time, again, we're in a clinical practice. We test thyroid all the time. We see that women start to get a little bit higher on TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. And that happens actually as the body becomes hypothyroid, lower thyroid-based production, because fasting through breakfast and getting ready for work or commuting in traffic, or you have a big meeting first thing in the morning, or if you're getting your kids ready, any one of those things, whatever is your stressor in the morning, could cause you to create higher levels of cortisol or norepinephrine, which could in turn lower thyroid in women. It can also cause estrogen dominance women because it can lower levels of progesterone, which lead to you have normal levels of estrogen typically, but lower levels of progesterone, which seems like estrogen dominance. And I did a whole podcast on estrogen dominance, and it has to do with the feeling of bloating or acne or migraines or skin issues or thinning of hair or puffiness or bloating. So keep that in mind. Now, where I don't agree with Dr. Beth, and I took out her last name so because I don't disparage anyone, I would never do that because she's right in those terms. But women have to fast just like men. It just shouldn't be on a daily basis. The only thing that gets you as close as you can to the fountain of youth is fasting. And that means that you should be doing a quarterly fast, a longer fast, every 12 weeks. And ideally, on a monthly basis, you want to do at least one day out of the month of a fast. Or, like we have a lot of people in our practice, it's one day every week or every couple weeks. Why would you want to do that? Well, the reason is you have to be able to take advantage of autophagy. You have to take advantage of your body not having new stuff coming in and you scavenging all of the bacteria, the free radicals, the cancer cells, and women need that just as much as men. So my highest recommendation is that, again, these things aren't black and white. We have to really keep that in mind, right? So a Vata body type is going to do worse with fasting than a Kapha body type. And men are going to have a little bit easier time with hormones with fasting than women will. But everyone has to fast. There's no doubt about it. Everyone should be doing a 12-hour overnight fast, and everyone should be doing a quarterly functional medicine detox. And you can use any company you want. And here's why. Unless you live in a world that doesn't have 77,000 toxins in it, I think we all live in the same world, you have to be able to clean those from your system because that is and what can lead to cancer and other health-based issues. So, Gabriella, a little bit of both. I don't recommend most women fast for 16 hours a day, but I do recommend that all women fast for a day a month or one day a week, or potentially, and I do recommend this, a couple days per quarter. And the reason is that one day doesn't throw off your hormones. Every day doing that would. All right, great question so far. Luke's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Would you be able to tell me what you typically feed your dog? As with humans, diets for pets seem to be a topic that has many different opinions. What does your dog diet look like? Types of food and amount? And do you give him any supplements? I know you would have done your research on this and appreciate your response. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate you writing in. And I appreciate the vote of confidence. Of course, I love my dog. I have a French bulldog. Before my buddy Moose, who's my current French bulldog, I had another French bulldog, and his name was Turbo. And I grew up since I was young with boxers. So I've always had dogs in my life. I'm a huge pet guy in general. I love cats. Not a lot of people love cats too, but I love cats. I love dogs. I love all sorts of different animals. I had mice growing up. I had guinea pig. I had a gerbil. I had fish. Any type of pet is good for me. I love taking my girls to a farm. So in general, I feel like I would have loved to become a vet. There's no doubt about that. I would love to become a veterinarian. And my youngest daughter she's only 5 years old, but she wants to become a vet when she grows up. And I think that would be amazing. So what we do is we feed our dog a grain-free diet. Every dog should be on a grain-free diet. Dogs, when you look at them and you look at their teeth, I did a whole podcast on, what should we really be eating as humans versus canines versus dogs. And dogs can actually get some tubers in there. They can get a little bit of greens in there, but they need to be on a protein-based diet as well. And so here's what we do. For many years, we gave our dogs a raw food diet. But the problem with the raw food diet, and there is no problem, is that here in New England, during the cold weather, that cold, like the raw, you have to let it sit out. You need to let it thaw for a while. You don't want it exposed to as much bacteria. So what we've kind of been going back and forth is we'll do a lot of raw during the summertime, and then we will do the grain-free dog food, like in a bag that we get that's a really good quality for our dog. Besides that, we use an omega-3 oil, and we use that all year round. So that's a big thing with me. I don't go overboard, though, because when you go overboard with fish oil during the wintertime, it thins the blood too much. And when you thin the blood, your dog's going to it's going to get too cold, right? Because it's too much. So you want a dose for your dog's size. My dog's only 30 pounds, so it's not going to be, he looks like he's 40 pounds. He's like a bowling ball. But he's in great shape. People look at my dog and they're like, how does your dog look like that? When he runs, he's all striated muscle. Like, your dog's supposed to be lean. So first off, if your dog does not have a small waist, it has to. Like, the health of your dog is really on them being lean, and you should actually be able to see your dog's ribs. Now, not emaciated, but you should be able to see them. That's actually really important for a dog. Now, the best studies on dogs and longevity is actually decreasing food by 25%. So when you look at that, it's one of the first studies that was really, they took the data, they looked at it, and they said, oh, well, this is pretty amazing. Dogs were living on average 30% longer with taking like half the food, And so we said, oh, this is really interesting. So you don't want to malnourish, but you want to do less food. So, and back in the day, we used to feed our dogs 3 times a day. Now we know that the best thing for a dog is like once a day feeding, or maybe twice a day. So for my dog, not to be anxious, living in an apartment with a lot of other people as well around us, a lot of other neighbors. We feed him a little bit in the morning, and then it's 12 hours later. He eats again, so let's say 7 in the morning, and then 7 at night, and then he fasts another 12. So it's basically fast of 12 hours. He gets 2 12-hour fasts in there, which I think is great as well for animal-based health. Other products that can be good, joint support. Any joint support product can be great for dogs too. Glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, like those can be great. CBD oil, we give my dog CBD oil, especially if we're going to have like 15 people over. That's a big thing. Or if he's in a new location, he gets CBD oil. A little bit of greens powder if we want every once in a while. But that's, we don't go overboard, but for sure, yeah, we have a little bit of supplementation and a lot of good food. Thanks, Luke, for writing in. Rochelle's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've done your 7-day detox, and I'm currently doing the deep sleep protocol. I love using the support group, and Michelle advised me to ask you this specific question. I have Blepharitis, and my doctor currently has me using tea tree oil wipes, which have helped. She says that it will never be cured, but by doing this, it will keep it under control. Because of this, I rarely wear any makeup. I also suspected that I have a parasite issue, and I plan on doing the protocol in October after my trip to Jamaica. I've also been diagnosed with AFib and AFlutter and had open heart surgery as a baby back in 1960. I'm currently on a blood thinner, taking magnesium, only half the recommendation for the blood thinner. At my request, my doctor is gradually lowering my BP medication as I don't want to be on the meds. I've lost 11 pounds recently, retired from teaching after 36 years. And I need to lose more weight, as I know it will help me lower blood pressure. Please give me your expert advice regarding my issues. Thanks for your time. All right. So Rochelle, I actually haven't recommended this on a house call before. I don't know how many questions we've answered. I'm still looking to find out that number, but it has to be around 5,000. Let me give you a couple things first. So Blepharitis, I believe it's pronounced Blepharitis, but you can read her question at Rochelle's question at StephenCabral.com/1345. That's where all the questions are today. And Blepharitis, for those who don't know, it's an inflammation of the eyelids. So people can get the eyelids to actually grow into the eye. It can just be swollen of the eyelid. It can affect the conjunctiva and the tear production. And so, here's the thing, though. We do know that blepharitis can be a bacterial-based issue or potentially a yeast or fungal-based issue, potential for it. So what we want to do is this, and this is what I highly recommend. I think we had two different questions, though. I heard weight loss in there, and then I believe we were talking about blepharitis. So let's answer both. All right, the first one is this. I would run a organic acids test, which is now called our Candida metabolism and vitamin test. And then I would run also the stool test, okay? That's the bacteria and parasite test. So the reason why I want those is because you probably have gut-based issue. I don't know that. I don't know, but I'm saying probably. And we would fix that. If you had parasites, we would do parasite protocol first, then the CBO protocol with the citricidal drops, and then we would do the CBO finisher to seal the gut wall. Now, let's say, that's what I would do. In terms of the weight loss, I can't recommend enough actually enrolling in the Integrative Health Practitioner program. And you don't have to be certified. You could just take the course. And it will walk you through how to live the healthiest life possible. That is exactly what it does, honestly. You learn. So if you've read my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, if you haven't, I would start there. You can get that anywhere, equilibriumnutrition.com or Amazon. And it teaches you, the last half of the book is it teaches the rain barrel effect, what it is, the first half, and then it teaches you how to empty your rain barrel, the second half. And that's the de-stress protocol that I use every day in my practice. Now, the other part to look at is this. For the Integrative Health Practitioner, that program, the course, you can also do it without becoming certified. And that is 40 hours of the de-stress protocol in depth of how to lose the weight and keep it off, of how to get well and stay well, and how to work on anti-aging so that you live longer, stronger. So that's what I recommend. If you don't want to do that, I totally get it. And what I would do is in another, let's just say you wait 12 weeks, and then I would do a 21-day detox. And then I would continue on with the daily foundational protocol each morning. Again, just watch. We have an omega-3 in there, and you might be able to work with your PCP about weaning off your blood thinner if you're taking an omega-3, which will be great for the overall processes in the body. And then, again, that smoothie that morning, I would make sure you get your 10,000 steps per day. And I would listen to my podcast on the graduated exercise recommendations, where you can start to build back up your capacity to also move the body more. So that's where I would get started. And Rochelle, I hope that helps. Natasha's up next. Natasha writes in, "Hi, SC. I was wondering if there's any way to get rid of seborrheic keratosis other than freezing them off. As I get older, I seem to be getting more, and I'm self-conscious to wear a bikini in the summer. They are all over my back and stomach and chest that don't look great. Would appreciate any advice." Okay, so to answer this question, and I wish I had a great answer for you, and I could just say, okay, the reason that people get seborrheic keratosis, which is basically a conglomeration of, it's a benign skin growth. So if you've ever seen anybody or you have it yourself and there's kind of a darker growth on your skin, that can be considered and is typically considered a benign skin growth, and it's called seborrheic keratosis. And again, you should still check with your dermatologist to make sure that it's not skin cancer, melanoma, etc. But what most people do is they have them using, I believe, nitric oxide to freeze them off. However, what a lot of people do in natural health is they will try one of three things: twice-a-day application of apple cider vinegar, or a twice-a-day application of aloe vera, or a twice-a-day application of castor oil. Now, it seems that the combination, or I should not say the combination, one of those three typically works well for most people to shrink them or eliminate them. Now, what some people do, and I can't make this recommendation because it's outside of my scope of practice, but what some people do is they scrape the skin growth a little bit, then they apply the ACV, or then they apply the aloe vera, or then they apply the castor oil. And I don't think you'd have to do the scraping daily, but like once a week. And it allows the ACV or the aloe vera. Aloe vera would be, by the way, 99.99% aloe vera gel, no toxins in it. And then, or the castor oil. Keep in mind that I've talked about this before with cherry angiomas, and I've talked about this before, again, with seborrhea keratosis. That's what most people do. After kind of it's gone down, or if it ever creates like a rawness to it, then people will use like a raw manuka honey on top. So that's what I've seen. That's what I've heard. And that is the best advice I can give you, Natasha. I would also work greatly on detoxification and making sure the liver is supported, because it's only a theory, but the theory is that it may have to do with toxicity. Other factors could simply be genetic predisposition to conglomeration of a skin growth, which is non-cancerous. So that's the best I can give you. Okay, let's see here. We have a larger question coming up, and what I'm going to do is save that one first question tomorrow. So today we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. Not bad for the day. All right, so I'm going to keep it at that for today, because the next question is probably going to be about a good 5 minutes or so. So I will answer that on tomorrow's show. And let's see, that will be, just so that you know for your own knowledge, coming up next, that will be Leah leading us off, and that starts September 6th. So check it out. Look forward to chatting with you then. Thank you so much for tuning into this Cabral Concept. As always, if this was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it can serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues, and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice, so you can understand how you got here, and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.